CTD with Reno Little Theater, and if you're wondering what that means job-wise, it means I listened to Chad tell me, why did I do it that way, a whole lot. But today, he can't tell me why did I do it that way, because I'm home because of COVID, obviously, and I'm gonna cover production staff today and the number of members you may cover over the length of a show. But it's also my lunchtime, so I thought that I'd make a sandwich and maybe equate that with production members. So here we go. Alright, we start with bread. That's like the stage manager for me, you know? It's the one that holds the whole thing together. It's the body of the show and the sandwich, essentially. Then you have an ASM. And your ASM is your meat. They add the flavor, you know. They support the sandwich. Without meat, your sandwich would kind of just be eh. An ASM just gives the bread a nice layer of meat. Then you get a little cheese. You know, I like a little cheese on my sandwiches. I use a little jacked up Colby. I equate that to like a dramaturge, you know, because you get the history of a show with a dramaturge. Cheese is old. There's age in there. It may be loose relation, but it works for me. Then you get lettuce. I love a nice romaine on my sandwiches. That I think I equate to the costumer. You know, you get, it may seem boring, lettuce does, but you know, with costumes you get a whole lot of different things with each show. You get so many different costumes and styles and periods that you get so many different type of lettuces. Some good, some bad, some in between. So there you go. You get the costumer for lettuce. Then we have tomatoes. I know, I'm a rebel for adding tomatoes because not a lot of people like tomatoes, but I add tomatoes. And you know, I equate that to the choreographer or the movement coach, depending on the show, because of Bob the Tomato. You know, some of you out there watch VeggieTales. Maybe did, maybe didn't. But anyways, he's a dancing tomato. And like movement and dance, he moves around. And so we get the dancing tomato. And that's why I chose tomatoes for the choreographer and movement. Then to add a little pizzazz, I put a couple of onions on my sandwich, and I equate that to the props person. You know, the onions add a little kick to your sandwich, just like the props person would with each prop they have. You know, if you didn't have props, your hands would be empty, and you'd kind of look like a fool. So, pizzazz, props, pizzazz. That's where I went. Then I have pickles. Pickles are a lovely, lovely addition to any sandwich. And I equate that to a vocal coach, because, you know, a good pickle just makes you want to sing, and I think that's enough said. Then I have mustard and mayo, because mustard and mayo are like the stagehands. They really keep it together. You know, they keep the bread from getting too soggy from all the tomatoes and the meat and the cheese and all of the other things. And just like a stagehand keeps the stage manager from going crazy, having to do too much, and the ASM from murdering all of the cast when they're a little crazy. Then we have a little seasoning, a little salt, pepper, a little oregano, and you know, I equate that to the consultants that we sometimes come across on a show. They kind of help us flesh out the show. They add some backstory sometimes. Maybe they add some how would a real person work in this situation. That's what I equate those things to. They kind of fill in to the sandwich. And you know what? That's a lovely sandwich that I just described and made. And we get to the point where that all comes together and we have a lovely meal or show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Can't wait to see you again.